Welcome back. Okay, well, now you can see the dots are coming together. It's a bigger picture. Light bulbs are turning on. And let's watch to see how the discovery continues with Todd and Martin.
Yeah. Okay. So would you say that that's one aspect of this? Would you agree that one aspect of if I sometimes I'm capable of us going on an adventure and it's okay to go on that adventure.
Yeah, I think so. I probably also I'm torn by that obligation for the click next,
Yep,
click
absolutely,
right.
absolutely, and we'll come. I think that's also a yes and reality. I think one I want to lay out. What if this isn't either or? What
Right.
if this isn't I have to be a slave to the slides? What if you are expert enough to discover something with the audience?
Oh, hey, that would be amazing. And also it means I'm listening and learning,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
It sounds
Which is
like
so
would
important.
that would that mean it's two-way conversation in essence? We're on
Yeah.
a journey together. Would that be a
Yeah.
new belief about a presentation?
I think it'll, you know, I think I want to believe that always.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
I'll say, oh yeah, no, it is two-way. But the safety
Safety.
of
Yeah.
the one way, because it's
Yeah.
like the tried and true,
Yeah, absolutely.
is
And we're not going to negate that
no.
because you're right.
Mm,
There is a lot of safety there, but your face lit up when you said, "Oh, but there's an adventure that pulls me forward." When you're
yeah,
driving,
right.
I'm wondering if the same is true here, and I'm just in
Well,
curiosity mode.
yeah. No, it sounds like it is, but maybe it's I don't know, fear.
Yeah,
That's kind of
I heard when you wrote, "I'm capable of getting the car to a good place." To me, that felt like a new belief. How would you state that on a stage situation where it could be just an element of a new belief? How would you restate that?
I think in a presentation setting, it would be I'm able to be open enough to let a new idea change my perspective. Something like
Gotcha.
that.
Okay, gotcha. Now, when we're driving, there's signposts that also tell to the person riding with us, "Hey, do you guys, do you ever ask permission? Like when you're with somebody, do you mind if we take a tangent real quick?
Yeah.
Do you usually clarify, or do you just take the car and go?
No, I'll say if I'm with someone, I definitely say, "Hey, do you mind?"
Okay,
"Okay, I think I see where you're going with this,
talk
but
to
keep
me.
going."
Talk. No, can you tell me what just connected?
So, rather than just going on a tangent, when I see it, if I'm speaking,
Yeah.
it's really a matter of bringing the people I'm talking to along and saying, "Hey, what do you think about doing this?" And then making an assessment or a judgment, saying, "Okay, they're interested. Let's try it." And then suddenly it's more of something that we're doing together rather than something that I'm going, "All right, I'm turning here." Well, why are you doing that? I'm just doing it. I see something.
Okay. Let's get real intentional with that real quick. How would
Okay.
you want to say that? If you were to had a phrase, just like because you see the same signs on the road every time, so you know exactly it says scenic turnoff. So you see
Yeah.
that really quickly and you go, "Oh, that's a scenic turnoff. I'm going to turn off." How would you want to say that so that every time your audience knows, "Hey, he's asking for permission for us to go somewhere. He's not just being the crazy professor from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
He's intentional here." How could you ask permission? What's a natural way for that to come out of your mouth?
Phew. One is just to be direct, maybe. to
Okay.
say, hey, you know what? I just thought of something, or maybe, hey, you know what? Let's look at this in a different way. What if? Almost like
Okay.
going to the yes and, hey,
Yeah.
we're here. Now, what if we try this? Or what if we do this? Or what if we looked at this a different way? Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I like that. And you're inviting them on just a little bit of an adventure, the same
Yeah.
way you do when you're driving the car.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that you said that once, how would you say it again?
Uh,
So I'm the audience in front of me. You see something, you see that shiny object. How do you invite me to go over there?
Okay. Now you're asking me to improvise.
Yeah,
That's,
exactly. Well, no, what we're doing is we're pre planning.
yeah.
And so we're pre planning in a safe environment. So it's, well, what could that phrase sound like to you?
A phrase could sound like, well, I feel like I'm stuck at, hey, you know what? Let's look at this from a different perspective. Or maybe it's just, I have an idea. Hey, I've got an idea.
I love
What
that.
do you think of this?
Yeah.
And maybe it's a matter of engaging people. Say, look, we're talking about X, Y, and Z, or Z, as we say up here in
Yeah.
Canada. What do you think if we go back to the beginning of the alphabet, or go to the middle of the alphabet, or something like that?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
to completely add in a whole other metaphor to what we're talking about.
Absolutely. Just like when you're driving, hey, hey, can we go off on can we take the turn off for a minute? Or, hey,
Yeah,
do you mind if we go on a tangent just for a second? And a
yeah,
pause. Just
yeah.
something short like that. Not a lot of explanation, because they're not going to give you any rebuttal.
No, they're not.
All you're
They'll
doing
come
is
with
giving a clear sign.
right. Do you think like? And I want to ask you. I know you. I have an idea what you're going to say, but do you think it's okay to say, I don't know where we're going to go, but let's try it?
Did you hear me do that at the very beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as long as people understand the rules, the rules of the road, they're going to be comfortable. They just don't want to feel lost.
Right. And it's that. And of course, if I feel lost,
That's right.
they're going to
Okay.
sense that.
Okay.
And that's that, oh, double back, long route back. I guess we made a mistake.
Well,
Like,
so
why
let's
did I
let's
do this?
let
Rather than making it intentional.
there we go. And did you see my face when the recording froze? Do you see the dots again? Now we're getting so practical on this. What did you notice in the first clip?
Well, I noticed that Martin went from a fear to, oh, it's okay. We can go down this road. Oh, wait. And even to the point where he knows how to introduce it to his audience, and
Yeah.
that everybody's going to learn together. I think there's such an aha moment. That's a magic moment.
Yes, it is a magic moment. I think the critical moment was he even constructed this as part of his discovery phrase, but we began with what if. And the beginning a question with what if is a permission thing. We're not talking about reality. And you notice how often I take him from reality to, like he said, you got stressed about improvising. No, we're just in a safe place. What would it? What might it? What if you had one? But this what if, it creates a thinking environment. Did you notice you could see his wheels turning? It wasn't just like, you're having a conversation with someone and they're just nodding. I wasn't just
Right.
talking and he was nodding. He was thinking, okay. And like his vocal tones were, and at one point he goes, "Oh, I see. Whoa!" And like it startled him for a minute when the dots began to connect even more. Talk to me a little bit about, did you notice being willing to have just a break in sound, allowing space? Talk to me what you saw about the space to allow him to think. I asked him a question one time and he just paused. And there was just silence for a bit. What are your thoughts there?
Well, I was reading his body language, and that pause. So that, of course, focally, he took the pause, but you could see the contemplation in his face. And he really was working through in his mind what those next steps of discovery were going to be. And you helped him to put those pieces in place because there was a level of comfort and excitement. Because as soon as you get this surge of energy through your body, and we saw it, whether it was Martin leaning in or how his expression changed, it was there. And that discovery is just such an important moment. And only a coach can bring this out. That was really good.
Yeah, and we see some of those very specific tactics, like when you put it in a different context of like the sign for the detour. It's obvious it's the same sign every single time. That's how we know what's going to happen next. And how he built out, okay, and we had to work through that, of course, and we'll continue to. Even in the working out, did you notice how I asked him a second time? And it got a little bit more clear. And I think that's a great coaching technique. I could even ask one more time. Okay, if you said it one more time? So that just like the sign on the side of the road, it's the same sign every single time. I also like the dots that connected when I said, when you see something interesting, do you just go or do you ask their permission? Oh no, I always ask their permission.
That's right. And asking that permission, whether it's the person in the car next to you or you're on stage and you're talking to 500 people, and that, what if we just took a little detour? What if we explored together? I'm not sure where it's going to go. That's setting up that discovery. It can be here and it can be there.
Absolutely. So let's keep watching. And in the next segment, it's going to go we've gone from ambiguous and broad and discovery. We're getting more detailed, more detailed. Let's see how concrete. In fact, in this next clip, you're going to see a shift in his identity take place right in front of us. Not in that crazy psychological way, but let's just see what happens. Stick with us.